Welcome back, everyone, to a wicked publishing event like no other. Today we have with us creator Michael Nunnally from a couple different things. Of course, he's from Omen Comics, but today, more importantly, he's from Revelation Comics, and so we're excited to talk to him about his campaign. And he needs some support to help get the campaign funded. So we're going to be showing off the campaign today, and hopefully, you in the chat will be checking it out along with us. So without further ado, welcome, Michael. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I'm really happy to be here. I'm really excited about this project.
Yes, I know, and we talked about it before, and we were super excited as well. And I'm really hoping that we can get it pulled together here in the last few days and get that funded because it would be really awesome to see that. And so, yes, why don't you introduce yourself to those who don't know you, and then we'll dive into all about Seidr #1.
Okay, my name is Michael Nunley. I'm the founder of Omen Comics and the co-founder of its imprint label, Revelation Comics. And Seidr #1 is part of that imprint, Revelation Comics. It's Revelation Comics is for standalone stories outside of the Omen verse, and that's what Seidr is.
Nice. And what made you want to do a standalone story instead of going back to the Omenverse this time around?
Well, I mean, honestly, I just wanted kind of a one and done story. I didn't have any intentions of building up of this story. The series itself is going to be 3 issues, and it's really just intended to be that kind of a short story like that. I didn't, and if I put it in the Omenverse, it would have to be built upon in some fashion. It would have to have some point to it for the greater story in the Omenverse.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, while there's, it's horror and mythology basically, which is a lot of what's in Omen Comics, but it just doesn't fit in the grander scheme of things.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that totally makes sense, and that's pretty awesome. There, we have a new trailer that's out for the story that I think will be pretty cool and maybe give people an idea of what to expect. We'll probably play this a couple times throughout the episode, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up and have us check that out right now.
Nice.
And then while you guys are doing that, I'm gonna put out a tweet to the peoples, get the word out
All
on this
right, all
fine
right.
episode of the peoples out there. But let me get that trailer set to go first.
Okay.
Let's see here. And while I'm pulling this up, who did this trailer, by the way? Did you
I
guys
did.
put this together? Nice, very
I did.
nice.
Is well. Plus, Miss Halama off
Mm-hmm.
Twitter there. She did the animated GIF that's at the end of it, but I did everything
Nice.
else.
Okay, well, I think you guys see it up on your screen? I'm about to hit play here.
Yeah, we're good.
Let's do it.
Hell hath no fury like a bulbous scorn. If you love Vikings, if you love horror, then we have a comic for you. Seidr blends Viking culture and Norse mythology to a grim, dark Shakespearean tale about the weakness and hubris of a king and a broken heart that spawned a nightmare.
My name is Michael Nunley, and I'm the creator and writer on Seidr #1. Seidr #1 is the first of a 3-part miniseries that I worked on for about a year, and it's a bit of a dream project for me. I mean, I'm a huge horror fan, and while there are elements of horror in my other comics over at Omen, Seidr is my first attempt at just a straight up horror comic, and I put all my horror loves into it. I mean, there are some supernatural and paranormal elements, and just some good old fashioned gore and slasher stuff too. Vikings and horror to go together like they were made for one another, and I just can't wait for you to see how. Please consider backing Seidr #1 and helping make this happen and get some great stuff in return too. Skull.
Nice. That is very metal.
Nice. Nice.
That
Did you
was
like my
awesome, man.
did you like my best movie guy voice there?
Yeah, it definitely fit the grim, dark Viking setting. I felt. I
Sweet.
almost feel like you could be a Viking yourself there for a moment.
Well, I'm Swedish technically.
Oh, really? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man. Well, yeah, I mean, Vikings are a very interesting topic, and I'm sure you've had a lot of fun kind of writing that. What has the experience been like for you?
Oh, well, I mean, it's been a whole lot of fun. It's been a lot of work, trying to fit it all together. I think at least in part because I'm a perfectionist.
Hmm.
So I mean, like even after I had Seder number one good and written, I went back over it like at least 2 or 3 times. Um, it took me about a year to write the whole of the story and that first issue. In my experience, you mix mythology and horror go together really nicely, and if you throw Vikings in there and Norse mythology, things can get just straight up wicked. I mean,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's Seder. I mean, as you saw in that clip there we just showed you, I, we got all kinds of horror elements and that kind of stuff. If you notice there was undead rising from the battlefield there. Right,
You
right.
gotta have a little bit of undead madness going on. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's technically a
Hmm.
specific type of undead from Norse mythology called.
Oh,
I want to make sure I'm pronouncing this correctly. I believe it's Habagu.
oh, interesting,
They
interesting.
are they are a type of undead that don't ever travel far from where they died or where they were buried.
That's hence why they're still on the battlefield.
Right, right.
Gotcha, interesting. That's fun. I love you kind of bringing in that folklore and mythology there, and taking the spin on it there. You know, there's always some fun layer to peel back and find more information about, or learn some nugget of mythology that you're getting.
Right, right. It actually started with an attempt at a bit of alt history. Um, I,
Yeah.
I, I don't know. I don't know what we have on record about the Vikings, but
Uh.
other than the poetic Eddas, we don't know much about them before they show up in Europe.
Oh, interesting.
In fact, they first showed up in Europe in a small band in 792 AD. What the situation I'm covering is their most dramatic entrance, and that is they destroyed a monastery and killed several priests at Lindisfarne in 793 AD. Now that is particularly gruesome because I mean no one had at that point attacked a church. No one had gone in and attacked priests. This was the holiest site in all of Europe at the time.
Mm.
And so the fact, but to the Vikings, they don't serve the Christian God. They have no
Mm-hmm.
they have no interest or care about crosses or the church or holy ground. They don't have that stuff.
That's
So
interesting, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. So what I wanted to do was, the Vikings, deservedly so, got a pretty bad rap from that event. I mean, they slaughtered the place, burned a lot of it down. It was pretty terrible. But I was thinking, what if we could retell that story and make it an entirely other thing? What if we put a whole other spin on it, so that their reasons for even going to Lindisfarne are not just to raid, but totally different. I wanted to turn that situation on its head, and kind of do an alt history thing based on that, and working that back into where the Vikings are coming from, and who all is on the trip is kind of how I started building Seidr.
That's really interesting, man. I love that historical flavor that you're giving it there, and all this different stuff you're bringing in there. And it is really interesting, like you said, like the Vikings, the early history of it, it really isn't known. So it's kind of a fertile ground for you to kind of play around with in a way.
Right, right. And
Yeah.
there.
Real quick, I got a quick question. Do you
Okay.
have any plans placed in any historical figures, like in a sense, fictionalize them, giving them different? I wouldn't say like a gender swap or racial swap or anything like that. But what I'm thinking is more of like certain twists on like certain characters, like Eric the Viking, on how he was such a great person for exploring and this and that, like introducing him in certain ways, or some
Mm.
other
Historical
famous
figures,
Viking,
yeah.
yeah, historical mythological characters from Viking history.
No, no, there are no historical figures in this.
Okay.
Even the places where the Vikings are coming from, Cust and the place where they're fighting Iskist, are both entirely fictional.
Oh, okay. So it's fantasy Vikings.
Right, right.
Nice. That's really interesting. I like that.
It leans more heavily into Norse mythology than it does Viking
Ah.
history. I just happen
Ah.
I just happen to be using that event at Lindisfarne as a base.
As an inspiration for your own events.
Yeah, I mean the series is ultimately going to end is also ultimately going to end there in Lindisfarne. But the entire reason the Vikings are there and what goes down when they get there are going to be completely different.
And so we're talking like Seven Realms type of are we, you know what I mean? Like are we talking Asgard or and all that kind of stuff?
Oh no, no, this all takes place on Earth, but we are going to get to see characters from Norse mythology.
Interesting, interesting. That's kind of a different take than I think we've ever really seen before.
Yeah, I don't know. I did a little bit of looking around when I was putting this together, and I can't find any just Viking horror like what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if there is one, I mean, I'd like to check it out. But
The
uh,
closest is a sci-fi horror uh fictional piece called Outlander. It's
Have you heard
I
of that
forget
one,
what year
Michael?
it was made, but it has Harvey Keitel or whatever his last name is. That's
Henry
from
Cavill.
no, not
No,
Henry
no, no,
Cavill.
no, no, I'm sorry.
No, the guy who played Jesus in the Passion of the Christ.
Jim Caviezel. I'm sorry.
oh
Yes, Jim
yes,
Caviezel. That's it. I don't know why I was thinking. Maybe I was thinking Superman backwards. Damn,
Right?
Jesus.
That's
Anyways, that one is somewhat of a horror, more suspense than anything. Because what it is
mm.
that there's a sci-fi element where this guy and this creature are traveling through space because he's bringing it back to his home world. So that this way they can kind of put it in a zoo, observe it, blah blah blah, because it's the last of its kind. You come to find out he destroyed his people kind of destroyed the planet, did this, did that, and messed with a bunch of other things and kind of pissed off the creature, this, that. It jumped aboard the ship, crash landed. They crash landed on Earth during medieval Viking times.
Hmm.
And a whole bunch of shenanigans kind of go off. And it is a rated R movie, so they actually do a lot of good things with the Viking people instead of just we barbarian, we strong. That like none of
Hmm.
that kind of bullshit. It actually makes you feel that you're not actually there, but it actually makes them feel real in a sense. And I was
Interesting.
like, okay, good
Like
job.
real
Nice
people as
like
opposed
clap
to
for
just
them.
yeah, as opposed to just caricatures or something, you know.
In a
no,
sense, yeah. Yeah,
I've,
the one
I've
thing that I kind of didn't like that if they had just kind of fit it in better was they put in Eric the Viking. And I was like,
just
interesting.
just out of curiosity, do you mean Eric the Red?
Mm,
I assumed you
I
meant
think
Leif
I think
Erikson.
so, but
Oh,
most of the
no,
Western world know him as Eric the Viking because he
not
was the
Leif
first
Erikson.
one.
Leif Erikson was Eric the Red's son.
Oh, really?
I
Yeah,
believe so. I believe that's the
Oh,
one who discovered North America for the Vikings.
that was Eric the Red. He got
Okay,
oh,
he
so
was
that was him then. That's the one that they're
okay.
referring to, I believe.
yeah,
I didn't
Eric the
know his
Red
actual
was a
name. I
murderer.
just knew him by what the Western world called him, Eric the Viking.
Eric the Red was a murderer and got kicked out of his own country and went in search of land where he could settle.
That's why he ended up in America.
But that's why like in that Vikings Valhalla story on Netflix,
Uh huh.
you see Leif Erikson coming from, or I guess it's Leif, coming from North America there. or Iceland
Ah.
and Greenland, because that's where his father founded the land at.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting.
In fact, to my knowledge, Eric the Red is the one that named Greenland.
Hmm.
And the reason was, you'll notice that Greenland is ice and Iceland is green.
Hmm.
I guess that was an attempt to get people to come there to settle.
Trying to trick him.
That's what I always heard. That it was more of a decoy than anything. So this way, when people would go there, they'd realize they're kind of stuck on ice, and the next thing you know, there's Vikings.
Right? I think there's like
Hmm.
one habitable area on the entire
Oh
big old
wow.
island, and
Yeah, yeah, and I hear it's pretty close to the volcano that's there too. Oh wait, no, that's Iceland. My bad, that's
yeah,
Iceland.
Really? So they're both cold, huh?
yeah. Well, you're talking
Yes
about
and
northern
no.
hemisphere.
Iceland's more warm than Greenland for sure. But yeah,
Huh.
it's in the northern hemisphere. It's gonna be
Weird.
very cold.
That's weird. You're like, I'm going to Greenland. Hey, where's the green, yo? Where's all that green you were talking about?
I think you only see green about 3 months of the year there.
I think so.
No, that's funny. Wow. Well, if you'd like, you can go ahead and share your screen and maybe pull up the campaign there. We can take a look at there if you want when we go through some of that stuff there.
Sure, sure. Let's
Take a look at some
see.
of the perks and all that good stuff. Yeah, have you been I know you've been working plugging away and working your way through this, but have you been able to hear some feedback or any comments from any of the people backing?
Actually, I haven't. I've reached out several times and put up with the updates and everything, trying to get a little feedback,
Interesting,
get some
interesting,
people to share and stuff like that. And I've not gotten any feedback on it.
interesting.
I guess one person. That's not true. That's not true. I'm wrong. One person thanked me for putting out the book. I guess he was really excited about checking it out.
That's a really awesome thing to hear, man. Those kind of things go a long way to really making a creator feel like the project has made an impact, and that kind of stuff is always important. I feel like.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, one thing I would encourage you to do, and it's something that we could talk about, and maybe even you can talk to community about whether how they would feel. But with regardless of whether the campaign makes its goal or not, have you considered bringing it to Indiegogo after? Just bringing the project over to Indiegogo and bringing it there into their audience as well.
I haven't. Uh, I've been actually kind of criticized about this a little bit before, but I in my heart, I'm ready. I'm doing this Kickstarter to cover the costs of making the comic, and it feels like it's dishonest to say that I need to cover those costs again.
Well, that's true. I mean, that is fair. That is one way to look at it. But the other way to look at it is that you can put the money towards future comics or whatever that may be. So it's not
Right?
always I don't think necessarily people think of it that way. And there are some people who will use one platform over the other, and so you might be able to get people who are just not interested in a Kickstarter through Indiegogo and vice versa. So I think there can be value in reaching out and using both platforms there. The other option, is always in Indiegogo they have flexible versus fixed goals as well, and so there's some various options. So I would just consider at the very least, maybe even reach out to your audience and see if that's something that they might want. But yeah, because I definitely want whether it's on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, I want to see this campaign succeed, and I'm really excited to see more of Seidr. So. And I know your passion and you like just like your last campaign, you fulfilled that comic. Unfortunately, your first campaign didn't make it, but you still fulfilled the comic, and you got it out
Yes.
there. And I thought that was really cool too. It just
Yes,
shows your
and
dedication to the comics and your passion for the projects.
and I've heard a lot of people talk about how it really helps to have a few comics, under your belt before you do a Kickstarter.
Mm.
And for those of you who are interested, Seidr is going to be the 10th comic that we published.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You guys have quite a bit under your belt, but even though you are relatively new to the scene, you guys have come with a lot of material and a lot of story already ready to go. And so I think it's just a matter of getting people aware of that story and making sure that people are out there are hearing about it and getting the information there. And but yeah, I mean, looking at this stuff, I mean, clearly you have a great product. Your artist is bringing his A game on this project.
Oh yeah,
You guys are
check
you have
check out this. I mean, that's the covers there, but check this out.
that is badass, man.
When I told you we brought the brutal warfare and the gore,
Oh
this is
yeah.
what I'm talking about.
True Vikings warfare right there, man.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
true, and it all looks like it all paid off.
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. Look at you got people burning to death in the background here.
Yeah, it's a detailed like there's a lot going on right there.
Yeah, yeah. Look. There's just heads flying everywhere. Look, right up here and right over here, and this guy's head's coming off. And
The heads
and check
will roll.
this guy. This is King Ingvar right here, the guy with the spear through his stomach there. If you check this out, that axe of his is clearly very sharp because he hacked that dude's head off, and blood is just barely starting to spurt out. Right, right,
You
right.
love to see it. You love to see it.
Yeah, yeah. I like the gore. Got to bring it in there.
Is this the most R-rated comic you've done before, or is this par for the course for you?
Well, when there's some violence, I generally like to bring it. I mean, you know that scene from Gallows Men where Sarah Baton gives that guy
Oh
a,
yeah,
a
the
Colombian
Colombian, yeah.
necktie, right? I mean that's what I like to do when I'm
Why go
I,
do anything if you're gonna do it? Not go big, you know.
That's right. That's right. Although, I mean, I am learning a little bit about. I mean, there's value in leaving a little bit to the imagination, showing
Mm,
just enough for them to be able to fill in the rest
sure,
in their mind. You know.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. And so this
Yeah.
shot here, we're seeing a page where we get to see the witch for the first time, I believe.
Yes, this is the vulva. When we in the tagline there, when we say "Hell hath no fury like a vulva scorn," that's who we're talking about right there.
Yeah, that's a great tagline right there for this property. I feel like.
Yeah, yeah. We came up with a secondary one too. Which is let's see, what was it? A broken heart that spawned a nightmare.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good
So
one. That's a good one. Little
the
mystery there.
yeah, the basis of the I mean, this is really kind of a Shakespearean type of tale. Where we're talking about a king really that seems responsible for really kind of screwing things up for himself. And what started as a bit of weakness just turns into a raging nightmare.
Damn. And where it'll end, well, you'll have to find out, dear reader.
That's right. That's right.
How
All right. Yeah. So
many issues do you have planned for this series then?
three.
3. So it'll be a little mini series. Nice 1, 2, 3 done.
Yes. Yes.
Nice. I like that. I like those kind of finite stories where you're getting in, you're getting the good story. It's nice and focused, and then you're getting out and you're leaving with a good feeling. And I like those kind of nice, sweet, short tales like that.
One thing that is a little bit different about writing this for me is the like with the Omen comics. I have this really big grand story I'm telling. There's all this stuff going on. I feel like I'm trying to tell a whole bunch of stuff all at once. But
Mm,
this story is it's like short and sweet. It's compact. It's got a lot. It's got a lot in it, but you know what I mean. I don't have to. I don't have to build this giant world around it. I don't have to add in all these elements to it of
Oh,
storylines that are going to come on, way down the line. And I don't know. It just
kind of
as far
freeing that way, isn't it?
it is a little bit. I really like these just these compact little stories like this. I really think I mean, in my opinion, Seder is probably my best work.
Wow,
I'm definitely the most proud of it.
really?
Yeah.
Wow, even over everything in the Omenverse.
Of what's published, yeah.
That's interesting. And so, how much of that do you think is a direct result of that kind of freedom that you've been given, and then how much of it do you think is you gaining experience over the many books that you've written?
I'm
If you can
I'm good.
answer, of course.
Yeah, that's a tough one to answer. I mean, there's definitely some experience in it. Well, this is going to be the 10th comic we've published. I've written 14 and I've scripted
Mm,
4.
man,
So I mean, there is some
you stay
experience.
busy.
Yeah. um, there is definitely some experience in there that helps with that, but I,
Mm.
I really think it is just having a one story to tell instead of a whole bunch at once.
Okay, instead of having to be concerned with all the threads of the different, varying stories that you're telling, it's like, boom, this is the story. It's
Yes.
focused. We really develop these characters and their story, and yeah, that does
Yeah.
sound really fun, man. And god dang, look at the art. I mean, it just is so cool. Like his art fits perfectly with the Viking setting. Like
Oh, it
you
does.
look at it, you immediately know exactly what you're in for, right? You know what this is all about.
Yeah, this
And
here that we're looking at is the standard cover. This guy
nice.
on the top here is King Ingvar, and this kid with the dark hair on the right here is his son Eric. This is his best friend Bjorn, and this is his brother Lars.
And they all are part of the same. Are they part of like the same Viking tribe, or how does it work exactly in the world you've created? Are there different various tribes or factions or anything of that nature?
Well, it the essence, the meat of issue number 1 here, is that there's a Vikings had a raiding season where they would go out usually around springtime, and they would raid areas around them up north, off to the west, down south. Um, they would get different areas, and King Ingvar goes to a place that they're usually hit, and they usually hit it well because those Vikings themselves are usually off on a raid. But when they get there, they find out that things are not going to be as easy as they planned.
Interesting. That's where the things kind of take a dark turn, I'm assuming.
Yes, yes,
Very
yeah.
interesting. Okay, so in this case, do you have? And this might be getting too much of the weeds here, but do you kind of have your version of the English in this kind of setting, or is it really focused on the Vikings and what they're doing?
Well, there will be a version of the English when
Nice,
they go to Lindisfarne.
nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man. I love it because that is always kind of an interesting dynamic to
right.
explore.
Most these characters on the front here, all these guys are Swedish.
Ah, okay.
It's before Sweden actually became an official
Mm-hmm.
country. But the place that they're going to fight is in Daneland. The
Right, and because this is kind of like historical fiction, or like not historical fiction, but like what is the word you used? Alternate history.
alt
Yeah.
history, yeah.
All. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah, well, that's fun. Yeah, and so in that case, I believe you mentioned earlier that you're a little bit Swedish yourself, aren't you?
I am, yes, and
Ah, so that's where that comes into play with the characters, I'm guessing.
yes, yeah. I specifically wanted to do some characters about people from Sweden, so that's why the main characters are from there.
Hmm. You go into a little bit your heritage there
Yeah,
for
yeah.
your
Well, you
storytelling.
notice I did that with Omen comics too. I'm also Irish, and there's a lot of Celtic
Mm,
influence in the Omen verse.
Patrick O'Leary.
Yes, like Patrick O'Leary.
Oh, that's interesting, man. That's pretty cool. It's nice that you're bringing that stuff into your writing in that way. I'm a bit I'm well, I'm mostly Scottish in my background, but I've not had a chance to write any kind of stories about Scottish individuals or anything of that nature, you know.
Well,
So
Nice.
speaking of his Irish history, I mean, that's also partly more or less a little bit of your influence for White Druid, huh?
Oh yeah, White Druid
oh.
is a Celtic deity.
Oh. Oh
Yeah,
dang. That was a good
yeah,
catch, man. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, definitely a straight up influence there. In fact,
Mm.
White you meet White Druid Lou's son, Cullen in White Druid and Michael Nero #2, and he's also a Celtic deity.
That's awesome. And in the logo now that I'm thinking about it is also a Celtic symbol, isn't it? For that book?
Um,
Isn't it like a tree? Isn't it that
oh
it's your
yes,
variation on it, but I believe the original one was, or I
the
could be wrong
Celtic
there,
tree
but
of life. Yes,
yes, that's what I thought. Yeah, okay. So even that is somewhat inspired by Celtic, you know,
right,
stuff
right.
there as well.
Let let's get into a little language definition here.
Sure.
A vulva is well, while we call her a witch there. In truth, a vulva in Viking culture is probably closer to a shaman.
Ah, okay.
All right.
Similar, but yeah, a little different. Yeah.
Similar, but a little different. And the type of magic that these vulvas practice is Seidr, and that's where I get the title from.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering what because I when I hear satyr, I always think isn't I think of like the goat thing from Greek
Right.
or
That's what is that?
satyr, I guess it's
Yeah,
probably right.
yeah, Satyr. It's
Oh,
with a
okay,
Tyre.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, interesting. So satyr
yeah,
is the type of magic they're using.
yes.
Oh, interesting. And so that's that word. That's something that you also borrowed from Norse mythology. Is that right?
Well, I got it from they have a dictionary for ancient Norse and the Norse
Mm.
language, and I got it
Mm-hmm.
from there.
Ah, okay.
Same place I
Nice.
got Bulba from.
Nice. Dude, that must come in handy.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
that helped
awesome.
out a lot.
That's funny that you mentioned it because I used similar things when I was writing barrels.
Yeah,
I would go to Mafia slang dictionary. That was my go-to.
right, right. Totally.
It's always good to be able to bring some of the common vernacular into into the comic, and it really makes you feel like you're in that time period, and it takes you right back when you read that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, check this out. I really like how this turned out, and I wanna read this. Just the bit of writing there that's on this page.
I'm gonna full screen this guy as you read it.
All right. Deathly wounded, I fought side by side with my brother, son, and best friend. We fought a battle worthy of Valhalla, but it was not enough. They say our fates are sealed. We can run, we can hide, but we will not live 1 second longer than the gods have determined. That day, I was certain our fate had come, but while I longed for the halls of Valhalla, my warrior's heart would not give in to it.
That is a good one, man. And that's your main character, right?
Yes.
Nice, man. I love the inner monologue. It's harkens back to a lot of the old school comics. You know, when you really got a lot more narration back in those kind of comics.
Yeah. Yeah, that King Ingvar does a lot of narration for this particular comic.
He's the Rorschach of the Seidr universe.
Yes. So
No,
if
that's
I
a great panel too. I love because it's not just like you're not just getting the great dialogue or not the dialogue rather, but the great monologue there, but you're getting that great image we looked at earlier here with the
yeah,
epic battle scene going on there.
yeah,
By the
yeah.
way, Scott, one of our creators in the chat, he says, "Hey, you guys are live." Believe it or not.
Yes, we are.
Can't keep a good wicked down.
That's right. So
uh,
I,
yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about the tiers we're offering, if we
Oh,
could.
definitely. Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's check him out.
All right, starting here at the base level, we got a $5 tier, and that is for digital only. And check this out: The digital copies that you're getting are not going to be the standard digitals that go out, that are going on Amazon, that are going on Wicked. These digitals that you're going to get have the exclusive variant cover. This one is going to have this cover on it right here instead of this standard version right here.
Nice. You get the undead.
Yes, yes. And what another thing that everybody's going to get, if you look, when you're making a movie, a producer is basically he's the guy that gives you the money to make the movie, right? Well, I figure people backing me on Kickstarter are no different. And so I figure if you give me money, if you help back this campaign, then you get a producer credit in the comic. In fact, just so that you guys are aware, this comic is done. It is completely colored. It is completely lettered. The only thing that is this thing is waiting on to make that PDF is I got to get all the producers' names from this campaign.
And then hit the go button, man.
Yep, yep, and then it's gonna be really quick. It should only take a couple of days from that point for the PDFs to get made. The PDFs will get shipped off to Wicked. The digitals will get sent out. Things are looking pretty good schedule wise.
And the printers will start working. They'll get the spools going, and then we'll get them right out to people right on schedule.
Right, right. And as far as the schedule we have on there, I got on there August. Now that's how long it should take us plus 3 months. I just wanted to make sure that there was no way I was going to deliver late.
That's awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. That's the way to do it, man. And it looks like you just got a new backer. Scott just back there just a few minutes ago. So thank you, Scott.
Oh,
That's
nice.
awesome,
Thank you
dude.
very much, Scott.
If
I
you're out
really
there
appreciate
listening,
that.
oh yes, definitely. And if you're out there listening and you haven't backed yet and you're considering, please go check it out. That's a good point. I'm gonna put the link right now in the chat so that everyone can check that out as well. But please go check it out and back if you can and share the word out there. Really helps. Every little backer helps get this thing over to the finish
Yes,
line.
please. If you're on the fence, let me tell you that we will deliver on this. We they, we are going to deliver on the Vikings. We are going to deliver on the horror. You're going to get the Norse mythology, the magic, the paranormal, supernatural stuff. You're going to get the gore and the slasher elements. This story has got it all, and we're gonna. I just know that you guys are gonna love this comic.
Hell yeah, man. That's what's up right there. I mean, how could you go wrong with all those elements?
Yeah, yeah. This book has got all my loves in it.
Yeah, I mean that's maybe why it's your favorite one. I mean, it's got, like you said, it's got literally everything that you love about writing comics, all
Right?
rolled up into one story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Really, really excited about this one. Let's talk about this here. The second tier is $15 or more. This one you get the digital plus the printed copy of Seidr #1. But again, you get the producer credit, right? You get the digital copy with the exclusive variant cover, and this one you get the printed exclusive variant cover. But check this out, and I don't know anybody that puts out stickers this big. We're putting out a 3x5 waterproof Seidr sticker. Looks like this here. Well, bam! Look at that bad boy.
That is pretty nice.
Yeah. Waterproof even. And it's 3x5. That's giant. You should. I put up a couple. You should check it out. So this next one up here, we got 25 or more. This one, it's similar as the last tier, but in this one we're throwing in posters as well. We got both the variants and the standard cover posters going out with this one.
Nice, nice.
And this one right here. Now this one is new. I haven't done this one before. But Howard, I believe his name is, over at Critical Blast suggested this, and that is doing this retailer tier. For $35, you can get 5 copies of the standard edition of Seidr #1 for 30% off. Now check out this deal. If you're a comic book shop, this bid is for you. The cover price on this is $9.99 for an individual copy, and that's due to printing costs and paper costs and labor costs. Um, we don't have a whole lot of wiggle room as far as that price goes. But if you are a comic book shop and you would like to sell this book, we can give you those. We can give you 5 copies for 30% off, which is $6.99 each. Now the shipping is $6, which means you can make $9 from the sale of these 5 books. That's about $1.80 per book. And here's the really cool part. I know that comic book shops normally make about 50% off the cover. So in order to make up for that 20% you guys are normally missing, the comic book shop will be listed as a producer in the credits of Seidr #1. So you got some word of mouth advertising going on there.
That's what's up. Oh, nice, man. I like that. They kind of giving back, a quid pro quo kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice,
yeah,
man. That's
yeah.
what's up. Well, that's cool, man.
So the next one, and this is where things start getting really crazy. The silver
Strap in,
level
guys.
backer.
Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. We start doing something in this silver level that I do not think I to my knowledge, no one else is doing this. I'm not, I'm
Okay.
not, I'm not even positive someone else would be willing to do this. So check this out. You get all the stuff you had before. You get the posters and the comics, right? But with this silver level, you also get a digital copy of Blitz #1, the all ages superhero story about an impulsive speedster named Blitz by Steve Sellers. You also get the a digital copy of Insurrection Fox Operations by Tosin Awasika and scripted by me. But here's the big one. 1 year of unlimited access to Revelation Comics on globalcomics.com.
Whoa. Damn. That's an interesting offer right there. I think you might be right about that. I'm not sure if I've heard about this one before.
Yeah. Yeah, and
That's interesting, man.
it only gets better. That number grows with the next 2 tiers.
Damn. Okay. Okay. I see you out there.
Yeah, yeah. So in this next one, in the gold level backer, you get all you get all the stuff you had in the last one, including a copy of the Seidr script. But you also get a printed copy of Blitz and a printed copy of Insurrection, and you get the cover art for both. And check this: 2 years of unlimited access to Revelation Comics on globalcomics.com.
2 years access?
2 years.
Jesus. And we all know, I mean, I'm pretty sure most of our viewers will know Global Comics. I mean, they're doing some pretty awesome stuff over there, man.
Yeah, yeah, and just to be clear, we're just talking about Revelation Comics on there.
But hey, dude, that's Revelation Comics. That's, if I'm understanding you correctly, that's when new Revelation Comics go up, they get to read those.
That's right. That's right.
That's pretty
They're
awesome,
going to get
dude.
access to those.
That's pretty nice, dude. That
Right.
is really cool. That's a new thing I've not seen before.
And we got stuff coming out, man. There's stuff in the works. Not only do we have Seidr #1, #2, and #3 coming out, we got Blitz #2 coming out too. We also got there's 3 issues of a new Nigerian superhero story called SAD, which is an acronym for Sad and Desperate. We got those coming out. We also got a sci-fi comic called Shockwave coming out. There's stuff coming.
Nice,
we got,
man. That's a lot.
yeah, we got a busy schedule coming up.
Dang, dude. More superhero. Shockwave sounds like another superhero. Am I on the right track there, or?
No,
Oh, damn. Okay.
Shockwave
Fair enough,
is a story me and Steve are writing together, and it is
Really?
a sci-fi.
Oh, damn. You guys are all over. You guys are just doing hitting every genre. Like, you guys are just like, your interests are just all over the place. It's like incredible to see how you can tackle so many different topics and genres, you know?
Ah, well, thanks, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's quite impressive.
That's kind of what we wanted Revelation Comics for, you know. We and I really like that Seidr's really broadening that lineup. You know, we have that all ages title with Blitz. We got that war story with Insurrection Fox Operations, and now we got a straight up horror comic in there.
Plus all the history and mythology in Omen comics, and
right.
there's like a little bit of something for everybody out there in your works.
For sure, that's definitely what we're going for.
So that's cool. So you're getting global comics access to those titles as they pop up on, and you'll be able to read those for 2 years with that last tier.
Right. And at this top one, Revelationist backer. Now, to explain what Revelationist is, we call Omen Comics fans Omenauts, right? So we call Revelation Comics fans Revelationists, and that's what this tier is about. The Revelationist backer. This is for the hardcore fans. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
All right.
The
Now,
true fans, for the true people out there who are trying to get the whole story.
right. And with this one, you get digital copies and printed copies of just about everything. You get, of course, you get the standard
Printed
printed.
copies. Whoa.
Yeah, you get the standard
Damn.
printed, the standard cover for Seidr #1. You get the variant cover for Seidr #1. You get digital and printed copies of Blitz and Insurrection, right? But check this out. We also threw in Omen Comics titles. You get the 136 page digital trade Omen Verse Volume 1
Oh,
Seeds of Tetrad Omega, and that has Omen
wow.
Comics #1 and #2. It has White Druid and Michael Nero #1, which won the best drama, not best drama, ninth place and the most popular drama of 2021.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and that was on Global Comics. But you
Damn,
also,
dude.
but we want to make sure
Good
you
for
get
you,
the whole
man.
package. Thank
That's
you.
that's very impressive, man.
Thank you. Yeah, Steve did a great job on that comic. So to make sure that you guys get all the stuff we got going on there, we threw in the rest of Omen Comics digital titles too. You're going to get a digital copy of Gallowsman #2 too, and White Druid and Michael Nero #2, and even our most recent comic, Guardians of a Land, that just came out a few months back. And of course, this is the big one. 3 years unlimited access to Revelation Comics on globalcomics.com.
Nice, dude. This is the complete package right here.
Yeah, this is everything and the kitchen sink.
Wow, that's cool. That's a nice deal, man. Like that's a lot of cool stuff you're offering right there, and in print comics and global comics access, and there's just so much to look forward to right there.
And this right here is the T-shirt we're offering.
Nice, and that comes with that big pack there as well, the T-shirt.
Yes, that comes with the Revelation ones too.
Nice.
And there's also packs if you want them. If you want what do you call them? The attachment tiers where you can add them on add-ons. Yes. There's packs in there for printed Omen comics. And there's also packs in there for Revelation comics if you just want to throw those on. The T-shirt is there if you just want to add that on.
So you can kind of with that you can kind of mix and match then.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. That way you can kind of fine tune to get exactly what you're looking for. If maybe there's some certain items you really want to get, but it doesn't work out with the tier that you're looking to back right now.
Right.
Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I feel like that T-shirt would be a really good add-on for like some of the lower tiers as well.
And those are going to be set when the campaign is fully funded. I'm going to send out a question to all the backers who got the shirt, and I'm going to get the sizes from you then, and then we're gonna order those and get those out to you.
And so those will be shipping separately then from the comics. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Nice,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And of
Now,
course,
real
you will be
quick,
able
for
to.
the shirts,
sorry,
are they
man,
going to
go
be
ahead.
before the comics or after the comics?
Well, the shirts will probably come before the comics.
Okay.
To my
All right,
knowledge, it only
I like
takes
that. I like that. A little bit of merch before I get down to my
Right.
reading.
Then you can wear the shirt when the comic comes in, and you can read it while you're wearing it, or
Right.
wear it while you're
There you
reading it.
go. That's
And
what
post a
I was
cool pic
thinking.
on Twitter with the pictures
Yeah,
of the
really.
comic and everything. That's what I'm talking about.
And the shirt, wear the shirt, get the
Yeah,
comic, take the picture, boom,
yeah,
post it.
yeah.
There we go.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's great, man.
And if you're curious, what exactly the money is for on this one, all of the money that I'm trying to raise here is just to cover the costs. This is to make sure that my artists and my letterer and my graphic designer get paid. This is to make sure Wick gets paid for the fulfillment and Kickstarter gets their cut. This is all about just making sure that costs are covered.
Right, and anything that you're making goes right back into the comics so that you can make more of these bad boys.
Exactly. That's how I've been able to keep putting comics out. Any money I make goes right back into making the next comic.
Hmm. And that's why you guys are so successful. I mean, like you said, you've done 10 comics now.
This is going to be my 10th one. Yeah, Seidr.
That's wild, man. That's an impressive output. Like, there's not many people in the community who can say that they can match you for output right there. That is impressive. That is it is an accomplishment,
Thank
and
you very
definitely
much,
something to be
man.
proud of. Yeah. Like wow, 10. That's a big number.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's
And we
pretty
got a we
awesome.
got a lot more. We got a, like I said, we got a lot more coming from both Revelation and from Omen Comics.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned a few of the Revelation comics that are on the horizons. You guys have even more planned after that, like that are maybe even too early to even talk about.
No, that's pretty much the stuff that we
So
have
you
set
okay?
for right now. We
So no secret projects.
no, no, but I mean, because I'm running two different labels here. We
Mm,
tend to have to break up putting stuff out.
gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
what we're gonna try and do this year is do a Revelation comic and then an Omen comic and then a Revelation comic and then an
Mm.
Omen comic.
Mhm.
We're gonna try and do it like that.
Nice. Mix and match. Go one after the other. That way you can keep both going at a relatively even pace.
Yeah, the very next Revelation comic that's coming out after Seidr, obviously, is that sad comic. The
Mm.
It's a Nigerian superhero comic, all delved in like conspiracy and Nigerian mythology.
Is this? Excuse me. Was this one created by Tosin?
Yes, yes. Well,
Nice.
he wrote it, and he's going to do the art for it, obviously. But I did the scripting.
I love that you guys are bringing Tosin into the creative fold, and he's like not just the artist, but he actually is creatively involved as well, and bringing and because what's so interesting is because he's clearly bringing his Nigerian influence and in what his background and what he's interested into the stories, and I just feel like that's adding such an interesting, unique element to the brand and to the comics that you guys have, and it just adds to the variety. There's just so much you guys have going on right now between you and Steve and Tosin.
Yeah, yeah. It's really pretty broad, and I think that's what I love the most about it.
Yeah, no, I mean that's pretty amazing that you guys have been able to put this team together that way.
We say we bust out this video again.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do
Yeah.
another round of this video. Which
Right.
I think I don't know if we put this in the
Hell hath
chat.
no fury like a bulbous scorn. If you love Vikings, if you love horror, then we have a comic for you. Seidr blends Viking culture and Norse mythology into a grim, dark Shakespearean tale about the weakness and hubris of a king and a broken heart that spawned a nightmare.
My name is Michael Nunley, and I'm the creator and writer on Seidr number one. Seidr number one is the first of a three-part miniseries that I worked on for about a year, and it's a bit of a dream project for me. I mean, I'm a huge horror fan, and while there are elements of horror in my other comics over at Omen, Seidr is my first attempt at just a straight up horror comic, and I put all my horror loves into it. I mean, there's some supernatural and paranormal elements, and just some good old fashioned gore and slasher stuff too. Vikings and horror to go together like they were made for one another, and I just can't wait for you to see how. Please consider backing Seidr number one and helping make this happen and get some great stuff in return too. Skull. Miss Alama did a great job on that one. I really like
Yes,
that.
indeed. Oh yeah, yeah. That came out great. The whole thing is awesome, and you gotta tell me what is skull? Is that what's the meaning behind that one?
Skull. It's essentially it means health. It means to
Huh.
your health, like
Oh
cheers or
damn!
something. Yeah.
It's funny because it sounds so hardcore and metal. You think it'd be like, "I'm gonna kill you," but it's like, no, good health to you.
Right.
Skull.
It's because it sounds skull sounds a little bit like skull.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I thought. I was like, "Oh, that's exactly right." Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good one, man. Yeah. No, that's cool, man. And again, bringing back that history, some culture there for us. I like it. You gotta love it. So, well, this has been such a blast, man, and I just want to say thank you for coming on and talking with us. But what do you want to tell people about like the future of the comic and maybe what they can expect from the future?
Well, like I said, this is a three-part issue, the three-part comic. This first issue really kind of sets the stage, and starting with issue number two, that's when the nightmare really just kind of starts in issue number one, and it's gonna climax. In a way, issue number two is gonna be kind of like my Halloween Kills, where things are just really going to get crazy in that one. But yeah. Basically, you're looking at we're diving even more, even deeper into the Norse mythology. We're diving even deeper into the horror, and we're really going to start getting into that tragic Shakespearean element in that second and third issue.
Nice, man. The tragedy, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, damn.
I'm a big fan of Greek tragedy, and while I know this is a
Mhm.
Viking story, that influence
I
is
like it.
definitely there.
That's fun, man. That's always an interesting way to take it there, and honestly, it sounds like you're kinda going with that epic tragedy kind of route, it sounds
Oh
to me.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, I love that. That sounds like we're being in for quite the ride then.
right. And there's a strong emotional core, I think, in this book that is not necessarily in my other ones.
Sorry, what was that?
There's a strong emotional core in this
Oh,
book.
really?
There's definitely I don't know how else to say that. Emotions are really brought out to the forefront in this. It's part of the suspense and the drama of the story. Is what's going on with the main character there.
Okay, nice, man. Well, that's really cool and something to look forward to for all the backers out there and the readers. And I just can't wait to see it come to life. Speaking of which, what is the last thing, if you had one thing you could say to the people out there who are kind of on the fence or maybe considering backing your book but haven't backed yet, what would you tell them to get them interested into this book?
I guess I would tell them that this if you like my other books at Omen, um, I really think you're going to appreciate this one. Of the books that of the books that I put out, I think that this one is the most well written. It's the best. It's not the most elaborate story I've ever written, but I think it's the best comic I've ever written. I feel like I'm really coming into my own here. Like I've really started to figure this crap out on a real serious level. Like when you're writing, you kind of build up in levels, and I definitely feel like I went up to the next level with this. I
You've
really
leveled up.
yeah, I really think you guys are going to enjoy this. I we're gonna bring it, and I think you'll enjoy it. You're gonna get your stuff on time. You're gonna get it quick, and it's gonna be good quality.
That's awesome, man. I can't wait, and that's just really awesome to hear that. And honestly, this I think you're right. This may be your best comic yet, and I think that's saying something because everything you put out so far has been a banger. So I'm just
Right.
really hopeful that people will take heed of your word, go check it out, and honestly, please go share it with everyone you know. We only have 4 days left on the campaign. I know we talked earlier about possibilities of maybe going to Indiegogo after, but for now, there's no plans for that. This is the campaign and so if you want to see the comic, it really does help, and it really is important to get the word out there and back the book. So please check it out, guys. I'm going to be putting the link here in the chat again for everybody and putting that up on the screen. And so go check it out, see what we can do, and we're going to make this final push. We're going to give it our Vikings all here, and see if we can't get this thing to the finish line. And it's all about you guys, the backers, and it really makes a difference to the creators. So thank you all for watching, and thank you, Michael, for talking with us today.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome, man, and we'll be wishing you all the luck and watching you along the way as you reach there to the finish line. And good luck there, my friend.
All right, man. Thanks.